Hello everyone and welcome back. It's been a while since I last posted any video, but I promise that I will be consistent from now on. Like I said in my description, um, well, this is not financial advice for starters, and all of this is just a journal, a personal journal, and I hope that you will be with me throughout this entire journey. So to start off, I have a few things or a few assets planned or in my red list for next week, and I wanna go through with it with you. Uh, Keep in mind that this is my perspective of the market, and it is it is not financial advice, like I said at the beginning of the video. So let's start. So for gold, I'm just gonna start off from the higher time frame. Let's start from the weekly. So we had a weekly zone. The price hit. We kind of have a monthly zone down here. Yeah, here it is. But price hasn't really started to trade in it. The last time price did hit a weekly zone, I think the monthly zone hadn't formed yet because the month February wasn't over. So yeah, we have the weekly zone. Price already had momentum, pushing to the upside, and yeah, as you can see here, we also had this that I didn't really mark it. We also had this break of structure here, but we didn't really have any zone that was created down below, so it was basically nothing. Yeah, when you go down to the daily, you'll see that we had this zone, which obviously got broken, and then price came down to this one. So the reason why I wouldn't call this my change of character. Is because this is the bigger, okay, our big or our biggest swing structure is from this high to this low. I haven't really marked it, but just keep in mind that this is my range. Yeah, that's my range, and whatever it is we had here, this break of structure down below here was just an internal, but not from this huge or this big swing structure. It was from the internal, so it's kind of a minor. It's just a minor, and it's to facilitate the pullback to this zone. So yeah, on Friday I was expecting. I was actually waiting for price to. I was waiting for price to give us some momentum to the upside or order flow shift, but with candlesticks, of course, to the upside. And the whole week was kind of, it was kind of giving us nothing. I mean, there was this candle, but this wasn't that much bullish. So I just kept waiting. And on Friday, this is what we had. So my expectation or anticipation for next week on gold is that price is gonna, keep pushing up and eventually take out this high. I don't really know about this high because, as you can see, we're already forming liquidity down below, and it could be taken out. Okay, we're kind of forming liquidity channel. Okay, didn't have marked that really well. We're forming this channel down below here. This is like a liquidity channel, a trendline channel, and price could honestly come back, take out this lows, then keep pushing up. If you go down to the 4 hour, the reason for that is because I'm pretty sure there are unfilled. Maybe not on the 4 hour, but on the 4 hour, it's pretty. It's much more visible and clear just how much liquidity we have down below here. Yeah, maybe on the 1 hour you could have some unfilled IPs where price could potentially rest. When it decides to come down, maybe after it takes out this high. I really don't know, but yeah, we do have unfilled IPAs like this one on the extreme here, and we also have others like this. Maybe on other time frames, they're much more clear. But yeah, as you can see, actually on the 2 hour, it's much better. Like it's way better and way visible. But um, the 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 immediate thing I would be expecting for next week is, since we have this daily on the 4 hour, we already have a break on the 4 hour. We already have a break of structure here, and we already even have a zone here on the 4 hour. So yeah, so what I'm basically expecting is that price, maybe before London opens, it's gonna sip some lows as it comes down here, and then push up to here, but of course I'm just gonna play this range or whatever range you're gonna have. We're gonna have that's gonna be close, but not really this high because, like I said, there is a probability with however price has been moving and whatever it's been forming that we actually might expect a much deeper pullback and around these zones to just give us a bigger range than whatever it is that it's been forming, so that we could keep going higher since we're from a weekly zone. Yeah, but that is basically what I am expecting. Mostly it's just buying. Yeah, mostly it's just longs. Unless price decides otherwise, and it doesn't really. Yeah, apologize for my internet. It probably price doesn't push to the upside like I'm expecting here. Tap on this H4 and then it doesn't just go up. It breaks it. It breaks the H4 and comes down below. So it could do two things when it does that. Among the probabilities, you could also just take out this high, sorry, this low, and go up, or take out this daily low. So there are a bunch of things, but essentially it's a buy, or I'm expecting price to be bullish throughout next week. If that is if it does maintain the structure that we currently have. Keep keep that in mind. Yeah. Next we have GBP which was actually doing pretty great. It did pretty great last week, and I just want us to look at this. We're on a monthly zone. We have been, I think, for quite some time. And maybe something that I didn't really mark was that we had a monthly FCC above here. Price never really closed. Actually, no, price never really closed above this high. But I'm just gonna mark this one. Never closed above the high. We can see some momentum to the downside. We still have 23 days to the monthly close. So yeah, I would say that we are bearish. We are bearish, and that is what I'm expecting us to be. Uh, when we go down to the daily, because the weekly doesn't really have a lot of structure. Actually, sorry, it does. We have this break on the weekly. We have this break on the weekly here, um, and we have a zone on the weekly again. um, I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible, even though I'm not even halfway through the list yet, but I'm gonna try as much as I can. We have this weekly zone right above there, and if you look at the daily, we have this high, which is probably going to be taken out as liquidity, and you go down further to the 4 hour. This is even much better because now there's just a bunch of that. I mean, look at all of that trend line. Like, price is probably going to clear out all of this highs, give us a better range or a bigger range than whatever it is we have here. Here, just sweep all of this, including this high, tap on this weekly, and then push down. Or price could decide to give us one final push from this 4 hour supply zone that we have. uh, but it's already closed above here, so the next course of action for it is probably taking out this high, which we're just gonna observe. And with the open on Monday, we might actually get that it's already broken this, going up here, or it's already failed to close above this high and it's just now dipping, which is essentially what we're expecting. And that would be good for us because it would be just a really straightforward kind of trade. Yeah, or it could also come up to here. I mean, there's so many possibilities, but I mean, it depends. It all depends with what price is going to do here. Is it going to break here, or is it going to fail to close and actually have volume to the downside? So whatever happens, we're just gonna react off of what happens. Yeah, but that is my expectation on GU for next week. So on GBP CAD, it's more or less the same. We already have the monthly giving us some FCCs and really huge pressure to the downside. So there wasn't really much to it on the weekly or daily. This was the last daily point. I think that was in February. We have, I think the last point was this FVG, but I mean price didn't really fill it completely, which It might, which it might. But yeah, we had that H4 FVG, which price tapped onto and then just went straight down, fell to close above this high. Yeah, if you go down to the 3 hour, yeah, we had this price hitting this on Friday, and they're just going down. I don't even think we had any opportunity or any any chance of taking that short, because this was around London session, end of London session. This is London time, by the way, end of London session. So that was around, sorry, that was around it was around 4 p.m. London. So I didn't really do much because London was over, and my session was basically over, so I wasn't going to trade anymore. But um, yeah, this is what we have for this. I guess maybe going down to the 1 hour. For next week, we would be expecting uh price to probably come back up here, and then I just want to see a reaction. But it's a little bit choppy though, something that I wasn't expecting. So I don't know, and it seems to be creating some sort of trend line, uh, trend line liquidity again. So yep, price might come back to fill this H4FVG so that we could go down, give us a better range, or it could just decide to come back up to here, because this all of this is honestly a lot of trend line liquidity. I mean, look at this. Let's just take the parallel channel. All of this, all of this. Let's start from that high. All of this. This is one big. This is one big trend line liquidity that price could decide to take out as it goes up, back up to here, to give us a bigger range, because the last range that we had, if you just take a look at this, the biggest range that we had was here. The rest of this, they're just internals. They're internals to this big range that we had. So our basically our range that we have right now is from that high to this low. This is what we're looking at. Yeah, so price might actually just come back up to here, and then drop. Yeah, so keep that in mind. I mean, I don't really have much for GCAD, other than to wait and see what is gonna happen when price comes back to this zone here. Yeah, GBP CHF. We actually have a short going on. Um, no, we do. I think it already hit TP, but this is kind of odd, because I guess FXCM showed that this low had been taken out, but on other platforms, brokers, yeah, this low has not been taken yet, and it's really a different price. It's different price, so I think the price delivery is kind of different from this brokers, but yeah, it's basically the same thing. So yeah, so my expectation for GBPCHF next week is that we are here. What happened on Friday is that we had hit a 4 hour that was on Wednesday, and on Friday, what was happening is I'm just gonna go over that Friday. I mean, since we had hit that, had volume to the downside, we didn't really have much. I mean, the only range that we had was this 15-minute range, right? This 15-minute range, because the 1 hour was kind of choppy. There wasn't any unfilled IP on the 1 hour, so basically the lower time frames were in control, and this is what we had. We had this 15-minute point, and price. I think price was probably hunting for liquidity, which it did get with I think the NFP coming on Friday. I think okay, it affected it affected GPCHF. I mean, of course, not much, but yeah, we did see some huge volatility here, and swept this high, didn't close above this one, and this was kind of our entry that we have, and it delivered. That was shortly shortly after and during NFP, the US NFP. So that is what we have. So what I'm expecting on Monday, that was not a trade breakdown. On Monday, I'm expecting this is already a break, so price to come back up to here. I mean, there's really tiny FVG here, but you know, M15 it's still bearish. So we might actually just come back to here, to around this zone, so we could keep pushing down because there isn't much. But if price decides that it wants to, it wants uh, to balance all of this, it could come back up to here because we have a huge IPA on the 15 minute, and this would be optimal because it's the highest place, and we could have this this M15 acting as a support, sorry, acting as a resistance. So there would be liquidity above here, money, 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 liquidity above here. Yeah, whatever those YouTubers do, I don't really have that to put it on my yeah. So sorry for that. Yeah, so yeah, this would just be a point where price would probably just crack it and hit this, and we'd get some other liquidity entry, and we just drop to the low that we'd had. Or price doesn't necessarily have to do that. It could just, like we said, come back up to here, uh not very aggressively, and then push down. So yeah, that's for that. For the rest of these other assets, I mean, there isn't much to do. There isn't much to explain. So I'm gonna be really, really quick on them to save time. Um, on UJ, we had hit a daily support. This was a really clean break, and I kind of liked these ones. Yeah, it was a clean break from that, and that's a really good support region. And as you can see, it did work out, but we didn't really get an entry from that. I think we had a different kind of entry, which was here, but I'm not gonna go through that because of time. We had a daily support. H1 did that. It delivered. I think this was during NFP. It delivered and hit that high, and now it's bound to come down. So where is it gonna come down to? Either it's gonna come down to this 1 hour point. I think this is probably also on the 2 hour. Not sure. Not actually. It's only on the 1 hour. So it might come down here. Just taking all of these, liquidity. We have liquidity there. We have yeah, we have some of it here. This like equal lows kind of thing. If you go down to the 15 minute, yeah, we also have price, the probability of price coming down here, because this is kind of 50% on the fib. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna wake up and see what we have. It's more of a reaction kind of thing. I just want to react to price. I'm not really predicting where what it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen. I just want to react to it, because if you look at this on the 15 minute too, we have liquidity here still, like trendline liquidity, and the possibility is that price could come up to here. This really, really, really tiny IPA or FBG down here that hasn't been filled, or even down below here, and just kick up. So we have three places that I'm essentially expecting price to react off of. We have this one down below here, and we have the one hard down below there. So yeah, quickly to GJ. For GJ, it's pretty simple. Monthly price was already moving nicely. I think. Okay, I'm just gonna show it to you. We have the monthly giving us some volume. It's kind of indecision candle, but the sell side is much more bigger than the buy side. So yeah, that is definite for me. But I'm kind of waiting for this weekly to be decisive, because we don't really have anything that says, yeah, I'm gonna go down. So there's nothing much to do. I'm gonna wait for next week's candle to close, so that I know what direction we're gonna be taking. For Bitcoin, we have we have this on the monthly. Just to explain it, we have this big point, and we have this, and we have this. So these are all internals from this big range, right? We're here right now, and anticipation is this point could potentially push price higher to here. But then again, it couldn't. It might not. What could happen is that price is gonna pull back, and price obviously has to pull back, and the next point pullback too is here. Yeah, so it could pull back here or here. So what is going to happen, or what we're looking for, is buys, right? Yep, and the point that I'm expecting us to buy right now is this daily point. So I'm expecting for this daily candle to close, so that I know what am I going to do. Am I going to start looking for buys, or am I not? So that is that is basically my expectation. So don't forget to like and subscribe.